Okay, here's a fascinating question for you. What if you could gather some of history's greatest minds and ask them to solve our biggest problems right now? Well, that's the exact thought experiment we're diving into.
I mean, just picture it for a second. Leonardo da Vinci, Aristotle, Ada Lovelace, and Benjamin Franklin, all in the same room, debating everything from artificial intelligence to the nature of truth itself. You see, this isn't just about looking back at history. It's about using their timeless wisdom to help us look forward.
And that really gets to the heart of it. This whole exercise, it's not about being nostalgic for the past. It's a test of wisdom, a challenge, really, for us, right here, right now, to see if our own wisdom can actually keep up with our incredible inventions. So let's break it down. What's the central problem these great thinkers are tackling? Well, it's this huge gap that's opened up between the incredible power of our technology and our ability, our wisdom, to actually use it well. It's our tools versus our wisdom, a tension I think we all feel every single day. For starters, there's this feeling that truth itself has become, well, wobbly, right? In a world of deepfakes and constant misinformation, what can we actually trust? The very idea of a shared reality feels like it's starting to crack. And then there's our work. Automation is changing literally everything. That traditional connection between your job, your purpose, and your financial security, well, for millions of people, that link is getting weaker and weaker. And sitting underneath all of that is this deeper, much more personal crisis. With so much changing so fast, it makes you ask, what is a human life actually for when being productive is no longer at the center of it all? But here's the twist. The goal wasn't to ask these polymaths for predictions. It was something deeper. It was an examination of the kind of intelligence, character, and responsibility we need to just remain human. It's about understanding how they would think, not just what they would predict. So what happened when these brilliant minds actually debated? Well, something pretty incredible. Across all these different topics, AI, truth, work, they kept coming back to the same shared set of principles. It's like they created a kind of playbook for us for today, a guide on how to think in this age of just overwhelming complexity. So their big solution wasn't some new technology or some complicated policy. No, it was a totally different way of approaching problems, and it's built on these three core ideas you see here. First, prioritize purpose over pure performance. Second, anchor all of our knowledge in reality. And third, actively cultivate character and virtue. Let's dig into that first one, prioritizing purpose. Ada Lovelace, who was basically a prophet of the computer age, she saw this over a century ago. A machine, she said, can do things with incredible speed, but it does not originate intention. It doesn't have a soul. It can't choose its own purpose. That's our job. That's a uniquely human task. And what's amazing is you see the exact same idea coming from Aristotle, just from an ancient perspective. He argues that the whole point of intelligence isn't just to collect facts or to, win debates. Its ultimate purpose is to help us live a good, meaningful life. It's about the quality of our living, not just the quantity of our knowing. This is the key concept Aristotle called practical wisdom. And it's basically a higher form of intelligence. It goes way beyond just technical skill. It's having the judgment to ask not just, hey, can we do this? But wait, should we do this? And that's a question that has never been more important than it is today. Okay, on to the second principle, anchoring in reality. Leonardo da Vinci gives us the perfect metaphor here. AI is absolutely brilliant at making maps of language, of images, of patterns. But, as he reminds us, the map is not the territory. A simulation of a bridge is not the bridge itself. Real understanding comes from getting your hands dirty in the real world, not just staring at its reflection. And the great scientist, Ibn al-Haytham, makes this super practical for us today. In an age where we can create perfect fakes, we just can't trust our eyes alone anymore. Trust has to be built on a rigorous method, on a process of questioning and checking. It's not about what looks true. It's about what can be proven true. Which brings us to the third and honestly maybe the most important principle of all, cultivating character. As Aristotle warns us here, a clever mind that doesn't have virtue just becomes an engine of manipulation. Think about it. Intelligence without a moral compass is one of the most dangerous things in the entire world. And Benjamin Franklin, he puts a really modern spin on this. He argues that when persuasion can be automated and deployed at a massive scale, the most vital human skill becomes what he calls civic intelligence. That's our collective ability as a society to keep ourselves grounded in what's real and to protect each other from manipulation.
So, after hearing from all these incredible minds, what's the takeaway? What is true genius anyway? Well, this whole debate leads to a powerful and actually a surprisingly simple conclusion about what it really means to be intelligent in our modern world.
It's not about speed. It's not about how many answers a machine can spit out. True genius, the kind our world is starving for right now, is defined by the quality of our judgment, our willingness to take on real responsibility, and our commitment to a purpose that's bigger than ourselves.
And if you remember just one thing from all of this, please let it be this. The future does not need smarter machines nearly as much as it needs wiser humans. Our challenge isn't to try and compete with AI's processing speed, it's to cultivate our own human wisdom. So in the end, these principles, purpose, reality, and character, they're not just dusty old ideas from history books. They're a playbook for right now. And so the conversation is now waiting for you. It really is a choice we all have to make. How will you choose to think?